Hey there, Photo Universe. Okay, so I couldn't resist the $800 Pentax K-3 deal that they had running all throughout the holidays. I noticed it's up to $900 now with a free battery grip, but for $799 with a free battery grip, that was, you know, I decided it was time to pick up a backup K-3. Mrs. Photo Universe wants to shoot some weddings, and instead of us shooting with the K3 and the K5 2S, now we'll just shoot with two K3s. Although I'm keeping the K5 2S, it's a great camera for landscapes and things. The K3 works better with the flash. Doesn't have the K5 flash issues like the K5 2S has, and the K5 and the K5 2. So that's that. So we picked up a new K3, and I thought it would be a good idea to go through some of my settings so when I get a new camera, particularly a K3. So the first thing I do is I check the box for signs of use. Like I want a fresh in the box camera straight from the manufacturer. I don't want one that somebody went water skiing with and then sent back. Sorry, that's just the way it is. It's my money. I want what I want, and you should want that too. Okay, so then the second thing I do, so I make sure the camera's, you know, relatively fresh right out of the box. Doesn't have any use on it. You can kind of tell when you're opening the box whether it's been a display model or something. I ordered this camera from B&H Photo. I order most of my stuff from B&H Photo, although nowadays if Amazon has it Prime and I can pay $3.99 for overnight shipping, $3.99 for overnight shipping, I'll do Amazon Prime if the prices are the same, because I'd rather have it overnight for $3.99. So okay, but B&H is you know, their shipping is expensive for you know, well, it's not, their shipping's not expensive, their shipping's reasonable, but they can't match Amazon Prime for $3.99 for overnight. So that's why I go with the Amazon. But B&H is a totally reputable company. Bought tons of gear from them and highly recommend them. So okay, so the next thing I do is I swap out the end straps and I put on the Domke gripper strap. I like the 1-inch wide Domke gripper. So that's a Domke gripper strap there. It's got the special rubber that kind of stays on your shoulder a little bit better, which is kind of nice. The thing that I like most about the Domke gripper straps, though, is down at the camera end, these attachments are really thin and they stay out of the way, so I can hit the controls and things. The straps are a pain. The Domke gripper straps are the least painful ones of all of the ones that I've used. Okay, so then I charge up the battery, obviously. Then when you have a new camera, you select your language and your time zone and your date and time. I usually insert and format a memory card, and then I set my RAW file. So after going through the menus here, alright, I go into image. For one of the first things I do is I go into image capture settings, and I set the RAW file format from PEF, which is a Pentax proprietary format, to DNG, which is the, you know, it's the Adobe file format. It's just a little bit more ubiquitous. More things are able to. I just think it's a more universal file, and I think it's really cool. Pentax gives you the option to do that. So I use the DNG file format. Okay, with the Pentax K3, this is one of those things that's kind of a gotcha. So the next thing that I do is I go to the high ISO noise reduction, and the setting here, it comes from the factory set to auto. I don't use auto. I program in a custom setting, and the reason I don't use auto, it's kind of a gotcha. People were complaining when the K3 first came out that some of the images were randomly not sharp. Well, the high ISO noise reduction on auto can inadvertently add a lot of noise reduction at ISO 1600, which nowadays you wouldn't consider to be a really that high of an ISO, and you get a really soft image. And so, so I take that off auto and I program in a custom setting, and my custom setting is from 1 to 800. I use no, I turn it off. From 1600 to from 1600 to 6400, I put it on low, and from 12,800 to 51,200, I put it to medium. And that's my setting. It doesn't really, I mean, even if you just turn it off, if you're shooting raw particularly, that would be better than leaving it on auto. If you leave it on auto, high ISO noise reduction, you may end up with randomly unsharp shots, and you won't know why. And it's really weird because you can take a string of shots and something in the program kicks that high ISO on auto noise reduction up to like super high, and then it just obliterates everything, all the detail. So that was kind of a K3 gotcha, and it was kind of freaking people out. The second thing that was a K3 gotcha, which is really important to set, is now this camera came from the factory to set to AFS, which I was surprised about, because the first K3 that I got came from the factory set to AFA, autofocus auto. And people were getting randomly unsharp shots in autofocus auto, because I think what was happening is, you know, a computer picked up random motion in your shot, it would start moving and take a blurry shot. It would start moving the autofocus. So you really want that set to AFS, so this way when you know when you're locked that your image is sharp. That's the other gotcha on the K3. And I think Pentax figured that one out, and because this camera came from the factory set to AFS. All right, so see some other things I change. I set the beep to low or off. I checked the firmware on this camera. The firmware is already preloaded with the newest one, the 1.11, which was supposed to take care of the K3 mirror flapping issues, which I think it did. Because we haven't heard anything about it, or they changed the part that if it was a hardware problem. I think the mid-summer of 2014, the Pentax kind of fixed that. I add my copyright name in there, and then for custom functions, I don't change too many, which I was surprised about. The color space, which is custom function 21, the color space I set to. Let's get to the custom functions right there. The custom functions number 21 color space, I set that to 2, which would be Adobe. And then I made some notes while I was doing this. 22, the LCD. So 22, the LCD panel illumination, I set it to low. Sometimes I turn it off, but most of the time I like it set to low. And then the other one that I said was save menu location. I set that to save the menu location. So this way, every time I go into the menus, I'm not back at page 1, item 1. I'm wherever I left off the last time, which is really kind of a cool thing. So then one of the other things I like to do, this is more of a preference thing, you can have it set up any way you want. In the playback menu, I like to, which is that one, it comes set from the factory with auto image rotation, so this way your verticals are vertical on your screen when you're playing them back. I don't like that. I like to turn the camera and see the biggest preview that I can when I'm playing stuff back. So I turn auto image rotation off. It's even more of a big deal on the K3 because the K3 has this 2:3 aspect ratio screen. So when you see a vertical, turn the camera, you get the full screen. It's really, you know, you can really see what you're doing. And in live view, so one of the last things I do is in live view, which is right there, I set focus peaking on. You know what? And I forgot to do this. I always like, I like the grid display too in live view. The rest of it I'm not too worried about. So I can turn that other stuff on and off when I want to. So those are my basic configurations for my K3 right out of the box, the first things that I set, you know, you can hold down the ISO set thing and hit the green button and it gets you right back into auto ISO, which is a really cool feature. So I have auto ISO set, and it seems to work really good. So that's my setup for new K3 settings. This is what I like, and some interesting things there. The two important ones are the high ISO noise reduction. That's the awesome 21mm 3.2 limited. I love that lens. And so those are my settings for K3 right out of the box. I just got this today. UPS truck pulled up. I'm really stoked. It's nice to have, you know, redundant camera gear. It all functions the same. Dig it. So and so that's what those are the main things I changed. The two gotchas on the K3 were the high ISO noise reduction and the autofocus auto. And if you set those, you'll probably be really happy with your images. There would be no surprises. So there it is. All right, that's a quick K3 settings right out of the box. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I got some more Pentax stuff coming up. I'm kind of really starting to reappreciate that system. Is that a word? Reappreciate? And I'm really digging it. There's a couple of photographers online who have really inspired me. Alex Jansen, he's up on the Pentax forums, love his work. And Richard Bird, another guy, he's got a great website, he's up on P-Base too, love his work. He's shooting all the primes, the limited primes, the 15, 21, 40, and 70, and he's done some really spectacular landscape work with those primes. And so I got some videos coming up on those. All right, hey, that's Ed with Photo Universe. Appreciate it, and we'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.